guys, Ballora here, and I wanted to tell you guys a little story about the camping trip I went on and where I've been gone for 5 days. So basically, my school decided to take us on a little camping trip, and when we got there, my mother didn't give me a bag with wheels, so I was basically trying to carry myself up a really steep hill right next to my school, where the coach was, where it was at the top of the hill. My school is like halfway up at least, or if not near the bottom. So eventually my mum came over and helped me up, but then we drove and I bought this doll, and here's a little image of it. That doll, everyone in my class kept throwing him around the coach when we were getting there. Like, it kept thrown around in the back. The teachers told us off, but no one really cared, so we just carried on. We got there, and I had to carry my heavy bags again up another steep hill, and we had to keep stopping in the middle of it because of toilet breaks, and we had to take the long way around because suitcases and stuff can't really go on grass, so we went around the long way. And we got there, we set up tents, and then we just went to another toilet break, and then we had our lunch. After our lunch, the teachers let us go play around for a little bit. Me and Solar stood there, talking and stuff, and then I'm just gonna call this guy Gerald, because I want to keep inside the YouTube guidelines. He fell out of a tree, and then he started crying. So he went over to the teacher and talked about it, and then blamed it on a random kid. I'm just gonna call him, I don't know, Harold, for example. And they kept arguing about it, and me and Solar just ignored it and carried on what we were talking about. And then later, one of our activities that we had to do was axe throwing, which we walked down to the area, and basically, if you don't know what it is, it's basically you get an axe and then throw it at a target. We did kiddie versions, but it was an actual axe, so it could actually hurt us and stuff. So we survived. The best part about it is kind of the talking bit. The weird thing is when Solar called me, I don't know, cute, for example, and he tried to cover it up, that I can tell he has a. Anyways, we did that, and then we left and went back up where the toilets were, where we did our second activity, where we looked around for animal stuff, because the area we were in had loads of animal sightings. So we went around, looked around for footprints and stuff. We did that. Nothing much happened. All we did was learn some signs with sticks. And after that, we had a dinner. I enjoyed the dinner so much, I really want to have it again. And the dinner ladies were so nice. I definitely enjoyed that dessert. Yum. Anyways, after that we got to the tents and hung out there for a little bit. The teachers told us to take a shower, and I went there because I didn't really want to shower in the morning because there's literally no point because of what we were going to do the next day. So we did that, and when we got there, the showers had bug infestations up the ceiling. it wasn't that bad that day, so I just went in anyways. And I came out after that, and then I did my teeth, and then went to the camp and went to bed. The only thing is, I was paired up with these 8 girls, and they kept playing Uno all night, so it was really hard to fall asleep. But I did eventually. And then the next day, Solar kept complaining about how he wanted to go home because he misses his parents, and he hasn't been away from his parents before. So I tried to, I agreed with him and tried to comfort him and all that. And then we had a breakfast, which was sausage. It was nice. The only thing is, it was the same thing every week. Well, every day of the week, so nothing too special about it. It's just I had to have it every day, except Friday, which we'll get into that in a minute. So what we did was we hung around and stuff, and then I brought my diary with me, so I decided to go and write in my diary for a little bit and talk about what happened the day before, which was Monday. And then after that, we went to a tree area, and I saw people in the tree, so I decided to climb it. I didn't really go that high because everyone else was in the high spot, so I couldn't really get up there. So I eventually came down because we had to do our activities. I forgot what it was. I think what we did was I think it was archery. Yeah, we did archery. It was fun. It's just, it was kind of boring because it was kind of the same thing. And then after that, we went over and did some climbing. And apparently I was told, after we left, the group left after us. Basically, one of the classmates killed, almost killed one of our other classmates, because they had the ropes. You had to manually pull them. It's not like one of those fancy climbing walls where it pulls you down for you, or with a little machine. You had to do it manually, and then the person let go, and so the person on the wall couldn't really, you get the point. They basically weren't strapped in. Well, not strapped in. I can't fucking speak. Basically, they had no one securing them properly, so they almost died. And I don't know how they got down. But after that, we did the camp thing. We did blah blah blah. I skipped the shower that day because I couldn't be bothered. Because I had it the day before. So after that, we went to have dinner, lunch. Well, yeah, and we did a campfire thing. And it was kind of cool. We just practiced how to do fires and stuff, and then we built dens. And I was savage that day because my friend said, "Your face looks purple," because they were seeing purple because they got a torch in their eye. And I said, "Your face looks ugly." And then the day after that, I woke up, and apparently the other day, I don't know if you guys knew this, there was an earthquake last week, so where I was camping. So I could have died that day. And I should be grateful that I'm still alive. But anyways, we went over to the bus because we were going somewhere to the mountains. And we got there, and it was kind of like rocky hills, covered in rocks and stuff. And then our activity was to walk up there, and the tourists would do a little tour. And we basically got up there, and I was getting tired halfway up, so we got up there, and I obviously needed to drink and stuff, so I was kind of giving up and stuff. And then we eventually got there after like 30 minutes of walking, and then we got to this lake. Apparently the guy said it was haunted, and there was this girl. I forgot what her name was. I think it was it begins with a D. It's Dorothy or something like that. But like, she led boys into the lake and then put them in the lake. There was like 8 feet deep, and she told them to jump in and then they'll drown. Apparently that's what they said. After that, we just carried on walking up until we got to the very, very top of the mountain, and we just sat there, and it was so windy. Eventually, he just talked about the view and stuff, and then we just walked back down. And on the way down, one of my friends' foot fell in a hole, and the hole so happened to be full of poo. So when he took his foot out, his leg was covered in poo, and he had to walk back with it. And there was these stairs. I have a fear of stone stairs for a reason. When I was younger, I broke my nose with one of them, so I don't really like walking on stone stairs. So it was kind of a big fear for me because the stairs were really thin, and at the end was like this pile of, like stones and stuff, so we had to be really careful, and there was no railings to hold us, so we had no choice. So we got there eventually. We all survived, thankfully, and then we had our lunch, and we just started joking around and stuff. When we got back, or like when the others got back, we had to do weaseling, which is basically where you go through rocks and stuff. We did a bit of training, and then we went up to the high mountains and started doing the actual thing, and we started going through rocks and stuff, and it started raining, so I grazed my knee a little bit because of the rain, because the rocks weren't really smooth, because the rocks were made out of sand that was mushed together and stuff. So every time I got through it, it would graze my knee a little bit. So yeah, that's happened. We got out. I think it took like an hour and a half to get through, and then we got back down somehow. We went through this like tunnel thing to get out. And the funny thing is, one of the people that came through, I'm just gonna call him Andrew, because why not? He face planted into the floor when he got out, and it was so funny. That's happened, and then we got down back to the bus and drove off. And I was sat in the back because everyone was some reason hogging all the chairs. We got back and we, did all that stuff. And then they let us have a little bit of time to ourselves. And obviously I went to the tree because I love that tree. And yeah, that happened. And then Gerald started moaning again. So these other kids told me to draw him in a book in my diary, so I did, with like funny pictures and stuff, for example, babies, broken legs, and midget stuff, because he's like really small. He's like the shortest person in our class. So we talked about that, and then the next day, we did swimming. So we got on the bus, drove off to the swimming area. We got there, and our task was to swim first, so we got changed and went on in the lake with these boats, and we got, I did canoeing with some other people, and we canoed for a bit and played this tag game. It was fun, and then we changed the boats to like the stand up ones. I forgot what they're called, but they said we gotta jump off. This kid, I'm gonna call him Jeremy, jumped in. I realised they couldn't swim, so there was this guy, like the lifesaver guy, and he was in the orange boat near us. So he had to come over and save him, dragged him out the water, and then plump him back onto the boat without us falling in. So all of us didn't get to jump in because that happened, but we eventually got back there and we got changed again and we had a lunch. The next thing was map reading, so we walked for a bit to get to the little hut area. We got there and I was paired up with these other kids. One of them was Andrew, which I explained earlier, and then the other one is Psycat, which is their, online name. So Andrew and Psycat started walking around for a little bit. We did the map reading, and we got a little bit pissed in the middle of it because of it kept being stupid. We eventually ended it off and then walked back. And apparently, when I said those people almost killed that other girl, that happened again, but I'm not going to go through it. And then we got to the coach, and then obviously the next day we didn't really do much. Well, it was a cold night that night, so I woke up really tired with messy hair and stuff because it was in like really big knots. So I had to do that. But whilst I was doing that, I was told that the girls that I was sleeping with went through my diary. And then they started teasing me about the doll I bought. So I got a little bit upset because obviously in real life, on my YouTube channel, I may seem like a nice person, but in reality, I'm not. But I'm also am. So, yeah. That's really that. And then after that, we walked around the area, and we did toilet breaks and stuff. And this boy, Psycat, and the other person, Auto, 'cause they said I'm allowed to say their name, but those two have got in a little bit of an argument where Psycat started bullying Auto. I'm not really going to get into that because obviously it's kind of not really good to hear. So that happened, and then after that, we soon got on the coach with my heavy bags that I kept dropping on the way, and we eventually drove off to go home. When we got home, one of our teachers stood up, and he walked into the middle of the bus because some people didn't have their seatbelts on, and then we started going down this big hill, so he almost fell over, and it was funny. And after that, this kid was allowed their phone because they need it for diabetes and stuff. So he started playing memes, and he played the Cocomelon song with the trigger sound effect. And then the teacher got really angry, and then now he wasn't allowed his phone unless he was doing his scan. And eventually we got there. I was a bit mad at my mum, but also happy to see her at the same time because I haven't seen her for 5 days. And then we got home. There's this thing on my wall, and yeah, well, it's like they did a welcome home thing and a little party thing. We have McDonald's, and yeah, that was really it. I just went back to making the video that I did on Saturday, and I went to bed, and that's really it. So that's really it for now. Next week, they're taking me to Alton Towers, so I wonder how they're gonna ruin that for me. So, yeah, you guys really want to hear that story. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and it will help out the channel. Anyways, bye!